Yo, it is another edition of the High Hopes Podcast, sponsored by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Philadelphia, official partner of the Philadelphia Phillies. Tastes like Miller Time, Philadelphia. Celebrate responsibly. No victory Miller Lights today, Fritzy. I've been waiting a while. It feels like a while. Like one way or the other, the way they've played, they've found another way for me not to do, or when we're recording off a good game. Hey, I'm not going to actually, test my my vocal cords at all here and just say, hey, everybody. That sucked. Like, what an annoying series. And obviously, yesterday was super fun. We recorded after it. But just the way they lost the two games, we talked a little about it yesterday with the, Friday night, like, hey, we forget how to play fundamental baseball. And then today, to get out to that lead and Schwarber really setting a tone. And then, it's just like bang. And then for it seems like Alvarado, all right, cooking here. And then freaking Steven freaking Kwan, who I know you hate. I know you're so anti Steven Kwan as a fantasy player. I was going to say,
I like
in the
Kwan.
Past, he's had
in
such
the
a good year.
in the past. Yeah, actually, I have him in our one league.
I know in the past you've always been like, what does he do other than get you average? But like this year, maybe I guess hit home runs off Jose Alvarado. Super annoying. I do appreciate. I will say we complained about a lack of bits. The Schwarber lefty bit is pretty good, but where you at? Very frustrating. Against it was the two best records in baseball. Felt like a kind of show me series, and of course they outscore them in the series, but frustrating. And what, like fourth series loss in a row? Is that right?
Fourth series loss in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, first one to like a really, really good team. I think the Twins are really good, but the Twins were like banged up, so I can't give them too much credit. The Phillies played down against the Twins rather than the Twins beat them. The Guardians are good. Like I don't feel as annoyed.
They're annoying good. Like you look at the lineup, it's like how? Like John Kenzie, Noel. I'm like, who are you? And I know who he is. But I'm just saying, like, how do you keep just bringing these dudes out of nowhere and like winning with Ben Lively? And anyway, I'm sorry. I'm frustrated. I'm very frustrated. Go ahead.
I mean, they're annoying. I guess I don't feel as down as I felt the last couple of series. Like today should have been a win. Today, when Schwarber hits 2, they like never lose. It seems like. I mean, they're 22-4 when he leads off a game with a home run.
Yep.
Yes. So they're 22-4 all time when he led off a game with a home run. Now 22-5. That's a shame. And I just like that Guardians team is like their bullpen is just sick, man. Sick,
dude. Would you like to apologize to me for thinking that Emmanuel Clase was cooked? And I was like, bro, what are you talking about? And I was right. I hate to say it,
He might not be cooked. He's pretty good.
Dude, he's nasty. Like it felt like hopeless at the end of those two games. Like it just did. Anyway, go ahead.
And like Hunter Gaddis is just sick. Like he's just 6'6" and it throws like 98 and then has like a 78 mile an hour splitter off of it. It's just like that's hard to deal with. So really, I knew they weren't scoring once they went to the bullpen. I was like, they pretty much have to score at the starter here, or else they're not going to score today. And Colby Allard like did his job from I guess the
take it, dude.
majority.
4 innings, 3 runs, like for that spot. Like you gotta lift it up, right? Like you gotta score some runs for that kid when he gives you like it's not good, but Colby Allard's not good. Like what do you expect?
But I think the thing the thing that's sticking with me the most, really in this stretch since London, is when people talk about the offense and they talk about what worries them. Like this is the offense that we've seen more often than not with these guys the last 3 years, where they'll hit the home runs. It's good. They go through spells in a game where they just stop scoring, which has happened, I feel like, more in the last 2 weeks than has happened this entire season. Like the first half of the season, before the All-Star break, I'm not really counting the A series, it was like they look different offensively. Like they were scoring in different ways. They were great with 2 outs. They were great with runners in scoring position. They were clutch. And this is what they've done offensively again in the last, like, really since London, is you've seen more of this, like, of the NLCS where it's boom. Yeah, they can have the boom games. The boom games are still there. They hit 1 million home runs and everything is kind of fine. But there's been a lot more bust games where if the home run's not coming, they're not scoring in any other way. So like, it's a hard thing to fix. Like, it's not I mean, they could go get another bat. Like, again, I don't know if Luis Roberts exactly fixing that standpoint of things.
That specific thing.
It's just another big bat that they could add to this whole thing.
You want more like a Luis Arias to fix that kind of thing.
Sure.
He's like, but you know what I'm talking about, though.
Right. But like, I think of all the things. The bullpen, we know there's ebbs and flows. They got Estevez. We'll see how that goes. I think he's going to be pretty good. Feels like he's going to close out games, and they're going to let Hoffman kind of be the rover guy. It's fine. Estevez.
And I think they'll play matchups, too, it seems like, depending on how guys play out. Like, if for some reason they feel like, Hoffman or Strom or whatever matches up better in the ninth against who's coming up, I do think they'll mix and match a little bit. But I agree with you. I think if you had to bank on who gets the vast majority of saves the rest of the season, assuming he's good, it'll be Estevez.
Yeah, I actually don't think they're going to really mix and match. Frankly, I think they're going to.
I think it's going to have the closer. I mean, that'd be great.
I mean, that's what they did with Kimbrel last year. I mean, Kimbrel.
But the way they talked about it, it felt like they weren't like committing to it fully. But you're right. That's talk. The actions will. I agree with you. I think in a perfect world, both Topper and Dombrowski from the top down are people who would prefer to just have the ninth lockdown. Like, I think they like versatility, and they like, they're willing to do whatever's going to help the team. But I think in a perfect world for them, they would prefer to have someone they just trust to hand the ball to in the ninth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they've already, even with Alvarado closing out games and him not pitching very well, they're using Jeff Hoffman in the eighth.
Yeah.
Now, listen, if there's a situation where the ninth is like,
three righties and you got Alvarado, there's all kinds or three lefties coming up, and it's like maybe go to Alvarado or Strom or whatever.
But if the ninth is where the heart of the order is coming up, I think that's when they might go to Hoffman, and they might just say, okay, you're our guy for like but I think that they would like Estevez to just kind of take the job and run with it, and he's the closer, because I think they would like to be able to bring in Hoffman in the seventh. And it's actually been the thing that's kind of hamstrung this bullpen in the last. Mm-hmm. Again, in this little stretch here, is Hoffman's been the only one that's been really, really good. Strom's been really good. I'm not worried about him.
Well, especially the only righty. Hoffman's been the only righty who's been really. I mean, Kerkering's been hit or miss.
I'm not in a big trust Kerkering phase right now.
That's my point. That's why like the only righty, like Strom. It's really, you're right. It's really Strom and Hoffman, the only two people you've been able to truly trust with your soul lately. And even then, Strom has not been quite as good as Hoffman.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that today. Like, if you're a Guardians fan, you're watching that bullpen. Like, do they feel the same way like we do? I feel, or the way that every other team feels about their bullpen, where it's like, this guy's gonna blow. Meanwhile, it's like 95 with a hammer sweeper. You know what I mean?
I don't think so with Class A. Like, I think they've got enough
Class A, yeah,
bank. I mean, he's too that. But look, I also think that if you're a Guardians fan, like, you probably trust that. I mean, how many years have we talked about this? Like it's just like, I'm just picking the most recent name that pops in. But like, you got James Karnachek. All right, then he kind of doesn't have it. Then you bring in this new dude, and then this new dude, and like, it's just like they just pump out guys there. So if I'm a Guardians fan, I probably trust their history and ability to just kind of find dudes in the pen, because they've been doing it longer. It's nice to see the Phillies there. I mean, they've been doing that longer, so they probably trust that. But yes, I think if you're a Guardians fan and you're looking at how can we win it all, it's certainly not like starting pitching, like they win on the margins, but like it's the bullpen and Jose Ramirez and some clutch hitting, and great defense. But like you look at them and that's what's frustrating. Not that, a series is everything, but I mean, the Phillies they just flat out are so much more talented across the board. And obviously they've spent like 4 times as much more money or whatever it is than them. Like, it's, you see the way they win and these guys, it's like, come on, guys. Like, and the thing that I was thinking about as you were talking about since London, the way they've looked, the thing that's frustrated me most is I feel like one of the themes we talked about for the first, whatever it be, I guess like the first like 65, 70, whatever games of the season, it was like, this team takes losing personally. This team takes being behind in a game personally. Like, to the point you were making, like the Friday game and today, like, I didn't expect him to come back. Like, I hoped. I was like, it's possible. But like earlier in the season in that situation, no matter who the team's closer was, I'd be like, we're going to do this. I got this. And maybe they didn't, but I at least believed in it. And like over this stretch, it's like that that kind of edge they had coming in with the, like, we got to start hot. We got to, really, this is the year. Let's take every game. And Harper keeps saying it. He's like, every game you go into, you should go in wanting to win it as much as any, fully or whatever. But like, it feels like as a team, they haven't, and they've had injuries, not, but that kind of edge, Jack, that was there where it felt like we said so many times they keep losing personally. I haven't felt it as much the last month plus, whatever that is.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think that what I'm seeing from a lot of guys, or some of the guys, is that they're questioning themselves more. Like, I feel like Stott is in a big questioning himself phase. I think Marsh is in a questioning himself phase. Even like, so what made the Phillies lineup work the first 2-3 months of the season, it wasn't, I mean, Schwarber and Harper were really good. Turner was hurt, and then his comeback had been really good
when he played early, and then
but like, it was always someone at the bottom of the lineup came up and got a big hit. And
it was like Edmundo Sosa coming in for Turner and being awesome while he was out. All that. Exactly, dude. Exactly.
So it looks like a little bit of a confidence issue right now, which I definitely don't love. Like, they don't look like the team that says, we know we're great, we know we're the best team in baseball. It looks like a little bit of self-doubt, like a little bit of, some guys are just going through it. Some guys are just going through that portion of the schedule where they've been going at this for a long time. It's almost August. I was listening to Worth. He was on Part of My Take the other day, and he talked about how like August is the month that everyone on the baseball team hates each other. So
it's called the dog days of summer for a reason. Like, that's an old school baseball term, because it's like, that's the point where you're just like, it's every day so hot. Like, we got to go out and grind. Like, it's tough. I get it. That's why it's a long season. Like, it's a cliche. And every year we're like, we forget how long it is, even though we say it's long, but it's like really long. Like, especially go out and play it every day, Well,
and outside of like the Mets, a lot of the best teams in the game are struggling right now. Like, a lot of the
there's a reason the Phillies still have the best record in baseball. We've talked about they're under 500 since London, and yet it's not like during London they had like a 10-game lead on the best record in baseball. It's because none of these other teams have played well either. It's exactly right.
Yeah, so it's obviously there's a little bit of coping here, trying to talk myself through this thing as best as I can, because I mean, in the reality, there's no team that, again, besides like the Mets, that have jumped out and have really started going after it and like making a run at this thing. Like, all the best teams in baseball are kind of just chilling. So, it's frustrating to watch like this. I think the thing that the bullpen, for the main part, feel pretty good about. I'm excited to see what Estevez brings. I would love another reliever. Like, I think that of all the things that could happen in the next couple of days, I think reliever is definitely one of them. Just a little bit of insurance on Alvarado, who they clearly have been trying to,
or just on everyone. Yeah, totally.
Little bit of time off for Jose Alvarado. But the offense is the one that it's been the thing all year, and we were thrown off the scent with the first 3 months of the year, where it was like bang, like they got big hits, they're clutch. And it's just it's that sinking feeling in your gut that what you've seen out of the last 40 games is like, that's the team that we've seen in the postseason. Like, that's the team that we saw go through what they went through in games 4 through 7 outside of Schwarber and Harper going nuclear.
And by the way, great pitching in the Astros series. That's why they lost. Like, yes, the Astros had great pitching, but they lost because the bats went cold after the 7-0 barrage in game 3. Dude, it's the exact same thing back-to-back years, Jack.
Dude, the term, like, I don't think there's a term in the English language that currently gives me as much like shiver down my spine than bats go cold. Like, I hate it. I hate it. But it's like, it's the thing that's hitting me the most is like, the idea of these bats going cold once again. And like, Schwarber can only do so much, and Harper can only do so much. And Trey, listen, I think the one downside of the home run barrage he's been on is that I think now he's trying to hit home runs, and he just looks like he's a little bit launchy in a way. But it's just like, I don't want to have the feeling that the bats are going to go cold again in big games. And I have that feeling. Like, that's the thing that keeps hitting me with this stretch. Bullpen, don't care. I think they'll be okay. Starting pitching's been really fine. That's the thing. That's the thing that's keeping me up at night.
Yeah, dude, I feel exactly the same way. And, I joked about Luis Arias before, but like, it's like they don't, other than potentially Trey Turner, to your point, if he's not trying to hit the ball at the ballpark, like they don't have a guy. And other than, last year, Bryson Stott, or, many times, like they don't have a guy who you just know when everyone's scuffling, when no one's putting the bat on the ball, is going to get you a base runner when you need, is going to get you a knock, drive someone in when you need it, because they can put the ball in play and find a hole in the field. And like that matters in the freaking playoffs. It just does. It matters so much when all these guys are coming out and pitching max effort and the velocity. We've seen how far the home run barrage can take you. And look, you can just stay on it. The Rangers did win a World Series by just hitting the lights out. Like it can happen, but it's a lot better if, as we've seen, you can have the home run thing, but still be able to supplement without it going completely and totally cold in those spots.
Are you, it sounds like you're kind of advocating for it. Are you advocating to see what Mean Gene Segura's up to? Is that what I hear right now?
He's that type of guy, not anymore, obviously, but like,
I think he's having fun. Yeah, he's having a good time.
And he deserves it. I'm so happy for the guy. Who will ever forget the 200th double? But I
actually do remember.
Right.
Now that we bring it up, I remember exactly where I was for the 200th double.
Too. Of course I will.
Beyond confused as to what was happening on my TV screen.
I remember texting you. Like I vividly remember texting you, like basically with what the bleep is going on right now. But like that, you're right though. Like 5 years ago, that's the guy. A guy who like a classic 280 to 300 hitter year to year. A guy who's just going to put the bat on the ball, and whatever it is, whether it's put it in play, move guys over, get a guy in scoring position for a big hit or whatever, like they are lacking that guy. It's a lot of, especially with Stott struggling. So
what would have been nice?
Like, it's totally my biggest concern too.
What would have been nice? Having the guy with the third most hits in baseball since 2017. That would have been a nice thing to have on this team.
No, to Dave's, you're right. To Dave's credit, that was the exact idea. Yeah. Thank you for like breaking my soul right there, because that's exactly what Whit Merrifield should and could have been. So yeah, like I couldn't agree more with you. And if there's anything that I could see them get, it'd be a bat. I don't know what it's going to be. I will say, to our conversation from the last pod, if you didn't hear it, and again, relievers are not moving, but to the reliever market and the cost for Estevez, what they got back for Sir Anthony, with Austin is in terms of just pure value as a player and, a strength from a weakness and all, but still. And then what Jason Adam went for, and I'm not like a prospect guy, but it really seems like the reliever market is insanely expensive right now.
Insane.
So I do think that getting Estevez, might, come Tuesday night at 6:01 or whatever, look like a pretty damn good move in terms of just value for the player on the market. But
by the
we'll
way,
see if they can get another.
Speaking of Estevez, I didn't know about the Charlie Sheen thing. Like I didn't know
what that Charlie Sheen is Charlie Estevez, Carlos Estevez, that thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that. He's Martin.
You knew that Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez are brothers, right?
No. All I knew. Sheen
and Charlie Sheen were father and son.
That's what I knew. I knew about Martin Sheen.
So it was originally yes. So I believe, I could be talking out of turn here, but I believe the mother's name was Estevez. I'm not 100% sure. Like when the parents divorced or whatever, Emilio decided to take his mother's name. It's something like that. But yeah, they're brothers, and Martin Sheen is also Emilio Estevez's father. So yeah.
Wow, you learn something new every
day.
Pretty
good stuff.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, it might have been a change name situation. Maybe it was Martin Estevez and he changed his Sheen. Either way. Yeah, but I will say, just to the Jeff Hoffman Estevez thing, I know I sent you this, but just from a vibes perspective, I did love the and multiple people tweeted out. I'll give the one I saw with Scott Lauber, but I'll just read from it. Carlos Estevez will arrive in Philadelphia tonight. If he somehow needs a ride from the airport, Jeff Hoffman will be there. Estevez and Hoffman were teammates in Colorado and remain close. We play Xbox together still, said Hoffman. We're Call of Duty teammates. Like, I dig that. You know me, like I'm such a sucker for it. But like, if you're gonna like, everyone's like, oh, don't mess with the vibes on the team, like, which I get, like, and it does matter. But I think this clubhouse is strong enough to take people in. But like, it's nice to have Estevez come in and like you're bringing in someone who's like a buddy of someone who matters on the team, especially someone in the bullpen together. Like, I just, good vibes.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned the reliever market. It seems insane. Like, it really does. And once again, like, no one can discuss anything on
rationally.
On Twitter.
Yeah, of course.
Well, it's just like, oh, so you want to keep every? It's like, no, trading both of them for him felt like an overpay. And Dave Dombrowski said it last night. He's like, yeah, it is an overpay. And yes, I don't need the 17,000th tweet about you got to give up talent to get talent. Like, I know. Oh my God. It's like, what do you think I do? Like, do you think I just make stuff up with baseball? Anyway.
So, all right, let's get
hold
to
on. Real quick. Yeah. Last thing on Estevez. Talk to our good friend Mickey Moniak.
Yes, you did. You sent me this. I didn't know. Yeah, pretty sweet.
A little scouting report on Estevez.
No big deal.
A little scouting report on Estevez. He said he's the bleeping man. Huge ad for you guys. Guy's nasty and has the perfect mindset to handle playing in Philly.
Dude, love it. All right, I want to get to what we want to happen was we can move on from the Guardians series. But I will say, coming up, like, and the Yankees have been struggling. That's a fun series coming up. But like, for those who haven't paid attention to it, and obviously if you're concerned about how the Phillies have been playing, like, August is an insanely brutal month for this team. I didn't really look at it and comprehend it, but just for reference sake, they have the Yankees coming up 10 July, but then it's the Mariners, the Dodgers in LA, Diamondbacks in Arizona, which we know. Then they get the Marlins and Nationals, which is nice for 5 games, only 2 at the Marlins, but then then they end the month going Braves, Royals, Astros, Braves. So that's like every single one of those teams except 5 games against the Marlins and Nationals are teams that are either playoff teams right now or competing for playoff teams. So, like, the dog days are going to be dogging, if you know what I'm saying. It's going to be real, dude. So
if I could make one request to the Phillies, and only them, and only they are listening at this point, because you know me.
Mm-hmm. I do.
There's 10-1. The 10-1 Eagles talk has started. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh my God, here comes the gauntlet. Like, if they could just not,
is that started?
Wait for tomorrow, dude. Wait for tomorrow. This is the Eagles all over again. Like, I just don't let it happen. Just if I could have one request,
it's baseball. It's a different thing.
If I could have one request, it would be don't do this, so I have to hear about the 10-1 Eagles thing. And, for the rest of the city, they don't need it as well. So, it's...
No one needs it.
They've actually been pretty good against... they were the best team in baseball against...
against good
500.
Yep.
So, the whole, they don't beat anyone. Well, that's actually not true at all. So, yeah. If they could just not do that, that'd be phenomenal. My one request to the Phillies is don't turn us into the 10-1 Eagles talk.
Yeah, don't do that. All right. Quickly, because, not too much to say. We'll get to take bag. I'm assuming a somewhat quick one. But what do we want at this point? We obviously we're going to do the perfect deadline, but Dombo scooped us a little bit with the moves before. It doesn't feel like I certainly don't think a big move is off the table or anything like that, but it certainly feels like, maybe there's one move left, maybe 2 max, probably 1. Where are you at with what you want versus kind of what you expect?
Yeah, so would I want another lefty? I think I would like another lefty. I would take another bullpen arm just though in general.
Like Tanner Scott type.
Come on, bring me Tanner Scott. Like, all right. Where I'm at, and I think I might have said this last night, heading into the deadline, is, I think that they have covered their bases for the most part. I think they're content. But I do think that if there's a situation that arises where it's like, we can get this guy for this, I think they would be on that. That feels more like...
If a market kind of drops out or something like that, or a bubble bursts on a market, and it's like, whoa, that kind of thing.
Sure. And it just feels like that's kind of like what could happen. would assume they would trade for another reliever because they do still feel like a reliever short out there. Basically Estevez is just taking Sir Anthony's spot. Like I still would like one more guy, but like I do think that there is still an opportunity. Like I appreciate everyone writing about how they're done. Like if they can get Luis Robert for a price that they deem fair, I think that Luis Robert would be a Philly. Would I like them to do again? Leave no doubt. And it's so funny because we're talking about like the offense and the hot and cold streaks, and then we talk about Luis Robert, and it's like, again, it's one of those guys that I just want to take a shot on and see if we can't get the most out of Luis Robert. So listen, is it on paper right now? Is he the perfect fit? No, but I would be very curious to see what he would look like in red pinstripes and a Hayes
in a
Marsh
good organization and with real coaching and real stakes and all that stuff.
Yeah, so a Hayes and Marsh in left field would be a dream with Luis Robert patrolling center field. Like that is what I want. And like, I mean, you talk about an ultimate push your chips in kind of deal. Again, the Crochet Robert trade is like the most push your chips in kind of thing. And I do think that they want to trade both of them. The thing that would kill my soul, because I think the Phillies could beat the package, frankly, I think they could, is the Dodgers. Like if the Dodgers get both of them and we don't, it's going to hurt. Like that's something that they could do. Like they could do that. And you call his bluff on whether you want to sign to a contract extension or not, like call his bluff on being out of the bullpen, in an effort to limit his innings.
Yeah. That was the only concerning thing, but who knows how much is posturing, and I'm sure they know better than we do. I'm sure Dave Dombrowski, if they are considering it, is talking to Crochet's agent and getting a real feel for what's real and all that type of, and what's coming from the White Sox and, all that. But look, I'm with you. I think whether it's Robert or look, again, to the point I made last pod about Austin Hayes, like not a single one of us, honestly, I don't remember a reporter mentioning Austin Hayes, much less us, whatever. So who knows? Who knows who the player is? But you kept saying this phrase. I was listening to you guys in the afternoon show, which sounds awesome, by the way, if people aren't listening. Like it really does. Like the three of you, it's so much fun. Baby. It sounds like three buddies having fun talking sports. My favorite thing. I think that you kept using the phrase like leave no stone unturned. I just don't want to feel like they didn't do everything they could to try and take advantage of this special, or at least, mostly or seemingly special, potentially special season. And, that just really stuck with me. And that's the way I felt. And I love the phrase you used. And it's just like, that's how I feel. And whether it's Robert or something else or whatever, and even if it's not as big a move as Robert or whatever, like, don't hesitate to give something up to get something to just make this team better.
Well, it would especially hurt if, like, let's say they both go to the Dodgers and it's like, and they have big series against the Phillies and the Phillies lose the NLCS.
Do we have to? Don't even stop.
But it's like, but that's a scenario where
go to the Braves too. How about the Braves? It could go to the Braves. Like
Well, I'm going to need the Braves to not do that because I saw the Heyman tweet.
The Fried injury. They could go for starters here. The Crochet. I could see them trading for Crochet.
Just accept your season's over.
Crochet will go there. He'll sign like a 40% below market deal and then pitch them to a World Series. Like, I'd love to pitch for the Braves. Let's go.
Yeah, we can't let that happen. So like, again,
Crotchet. I would start calling him Crotchet then. I'm just saying that now.
It's fair. Yeah. But, and obviously we know about prospects. And it's funny, like I was in a group chat today and we're just going through all these old prospect names. And I was like, just trade them all. Just trade them all.
No, I know. It is wild and you can't do it that way. But obviously if you look back, like,
by the way,
it is funny to think that Travis d'Arnaud is the best player traded in the original Roy Halladay trade.
Correct.
No, in the original Roy Halladay trade. I'm saying of the Drayback tail, like that group where d'Arnaud was third of that group, the only one who had any career,
Well, and the thing that I find
Carrasco in the Lee trade, obviously.
The thing that I find the most funny of like the whole just trade them all crowd. It's like, well, hold on. Like, what if they would have traded Utley Rollins or Howard during the early 2000s? You know, so like you do have to hold on to some kind of players.
Totally.
So
well, there was that classic Aaron Judge one where Phillies were trying to get Aaron Judge for Hamels. Was it like 2013 or 2014 or whatever? Wow. And Cashman said no, and it's like, yep, there you go. Like it's like there's all that kind of stuff. You know, it goes. I'm with you.
It goes both ways. Yeah. But I just, if that package is there, and if it doesn't cost both Painter and Miller, like I don't know. Again, I don't know how you say no. I don't know how you say no. Now, again, part of the reason I didn't want to trade both the guys yesterday in one deal was so that I could use one of them for this kind of trade. But they have other arms if they need to put one in there. You know, like we'll see what they think of Vic Abel. There's like Gene Cabrera. You know, Mavis Graves is showing some things, but that was my only issue with the trade yesterday. But again, like if there's one move that I want for the deadline, it's easily Luis Robert or Garrett Crochet, and I think they want to, well, both of them together because I think they want to put both of them together. But that's the all-in move that I would love.
Yeah, and obviously we'll be here if anything like that happens.
Yeah,
and we'll be recording after the deadline and all that. All right, take bag.
Yeah, so my take bag is literally just all of the relievers that I want.
Good, do it.
So
that's quick and easy. Just let it go, let it fly, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah. This is my
Dylan
the rest.
Floro. You don't need to do Dylan Floro again. We all get it. Keep going.
Fine. You don't like the
last pod even. It's like every pod you mention. If they like, honestly, every single pod you find a way to. I beat you to the chase there.
You don't love soft contact kings. I that's shocking. But I think
just talked about my guy Tyler Phillips. Seems like he never gives up hard contact.
Yeah, I think actually Flora just let off a walk-off home run to Goldschmidt. So hey, value's going down.
I sat Goldschmidt in fantasy because he's been horrible, so that's great. So
value's going down right on time. So
take advantage.
Speaking of the White Sox, like I would just take a shot on Crochet, or not Crochet. Take a shot on Kopech. He hasn't been very good. I was listening to Jesse Rogers say that teams are concerned about if he can pitch in a big city or not, which is kind of ironic given that he pitches in Chicago.
Yeah, because it's like no one cares about the team. Yep.
It's like the White Sox are a small market team in a huge city. It's wild.
So funny.
It's wild, but I would still just take a shot on it. And like, listen again.
This stuff is the stuff.
If they got Jeff Hoffman to be this, I would like to see what they do with a guy like Michael Kopech. So give me that. Obviously, Tanner Scott. We've been over this. Would like Tanner Scott as someone else. That would be awesome. Kirby Yates. I don't know what the Rangers are going to do. Like at this point, they probably just stay in it because it's like the Mariners
defending champs. I think they probably do too. And the that division's wide open.
It's wide open. Again, you won't let me mention him, but Dylan Floro.
I like these still. I like that you did it, but named a couple before and then threw him in. Obviously, where he's on your list, but still, I appreciate that you did.
What's so funny about Dylan Floro is that like if they first off only owed $750K, which is huge, but if they trade for him. The prospect cost would already annoy me, so I'm already getting that one out of the way. Like for a guy like Dylan Floro, it would cost a little bit. You know, I'd be already annoyed. Anthony Bender, like I love him. I love Anthony Bender.
A lot of Marlins, former Marlins on your list. Yeah.
All Marlins. I want all Marlins and all Rays. Nathan Eovaldi, we've been over that. If they're gonna do apparently they would like a Lorenzen kind of guy who can do both. Well, bring me Nathan Eovaldi, especially if Ranger Suarez is hurt. Dude, if Nathan Eovaldi's a fill, I don't. They could go 500 the rest of the year. They're winning the World Series. I'm just letting everyone know that. This is an interesting one for a possible lefty. What about old Phillies great Eric Miller? Bring Eric Miller home. Throws like 97 from the left side.
Sure, Eric Miller's pretty nasty. I'd be fine with it.
Eric Miller's pretty
not super sexy, but he's pretty fine.
Well, the Giants are weird, man. Like,
he's Eric with a K, right? Eric with a K, Miller.
Yes. Yeah. There's like so many guys out of the Giants bullpen I want, like Randy Rodriguez.
I know they all are. I'll take both Rogers. Like I'll take all those guys.
Give me the little funky sidewinder Rogers.
Yeah,
guy.
dude.
We've never had a sidewinder.
Like the righty one.
Yeah.
Tyler.
I think that's Tyler. Taylor's the lefty.
Yeah. Taylor's the one more acclaimed overall, but Tyler, like. I feel like every time I watch him, I'm like, how does anyone hit that?
I've never seen the Phillies get a hit off of a guy that throws underhand, basically.
I agree.
Well, except in the World Series when Pedro Feliz hit one off of Chad Bradford, but
which was still a miracle.
A miracle. And then there's one name that I want to get to that I'm excited for your reaction to. But it's just something I've been thinking about. Yes. But the last name is Pete Fairbanks, who, given what but Padres gave up for Jason Adam. Like Pete Fairbanks is probably going to cost a ton. But
Probably not gonna happen. I wouldn't count on that one.
I would not count on it either. But he's added a pitch in the last couple of weeks
because he's better than Jason Adam, and Adam got.
Well, he's been their closer. He's been their closer.
I don't know if he's better or not. Adam's pretty nasty too, but like either way, he's probably as expensive or more would be my guess.
So, what about an out of nowhere trade for Devin Williams?
Oh, where is he at injury wise?
He's healthy today. Like he's back off the IL
but
today.
Aren't the Brewers like
they are
the division?
They are, but he's a club option.
Yes.
I know. I
would do it in a second. Let's do it right now. Can I trade for him right now?
Here's my case for Devin Williams. Is that
you can host the pod me? I'll trade you out there. Let's go.
And why they might do it. Just why they might do it.
Okay.
He has a club option after the year for like I don't know, like he's already owed like $7.5 this year. Do they want to spend $10+ million on a closer? The Brewers, not sure they want to do that. They've been fine with like McGill and everyone else in their bullpen because all they do is develop arms. So maybe they traded Josh Hader a couple years ago and we're still in playoff contention.
You're right.
Like
all right. For Taylor Rogers, ironically.
Yes. So I wouldn't totally rule out the idea of
over there.
I know. Well, I think Walker is coming up the stairs.
Right. We should finish anyway. I told Emily we wouldn't go as long as we did the one yesterday. So
what are we doing? But yeah, Devin Williams out of nowhere. Can I trade?
All right, I would love that in a second. All right, so we'll be back if there's a trade. Otherwise, whenever something happens, post deadline at worst. And any quick thoughts on the Yankees?
Well, so I'll be down there tomorrow. We'll be down there all day with the afternoon show, hoping to get some good guests. And then me and my
Walker there.
Me and my Yankees fan buddy are going to the game on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be. The Yankees have been also awful.
Horrible.
But
I mean, horrible. They are my. People here, to your point, are starting to show some angst about the Phillies slide. Like, it's been a few weeks of angst in New York with how bad they've been.
Yeah, not happy. But I'm not looking forward to, like, Judge coming here and Soto coming here.
Oh, God.
But
Judge
the pitching...
is, like, just insane again. Like, what an insane run that guy's on.
Those pitching matchups are really fun, though.
Yeah.
Like the pitching matches this week. So it's gonna be good stuff. And, again, like, we'll be out at McGurk's all day on Tuesday. So
yeah, buddy, come say hi. That's a great point. Yeah, I'll be there. We're both manning the desk, the trade desk. I'll be there 6 to noon, and then Jack noon to 6. So come say hi.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it.
Yeah.
I can I just get one rumor? I
know. And
can't
not
take
just
the
like a
Phillies
White
are
Sox
sitting
will
out.
trade one or willing to trade one of these 5 guys, but price is cheap. Like, give me the Phillies are in on this person rumor. Am I right? Like, come on. Thank you.
Just let me look up Luis Robert stats and Luis Robert videos for an entire night. Like, I just land the plane, trade some of the guys, go get that guy. Don't let him go to the Braves and take a shot on this upside as a Philly. Like, it's all right there. Like, it's all right there. They're playing freaking Rojas in center field. Marsh looked okay. We had an all right day today, but it's just it's sitting right there for him. It's sitting right there if he can just get it done. And for the last time, I'm begging, just like, go get the Luis Robert trade done. And let's ride off into the sunset, and you be viewed as a hero, Dave Dombrowski.
You heard it there, Dave. We know you're listening, and you always listen to the end of every pod, so we appreciate that. Like,
yes, he makes it 38 minutes the entire time.
Yeah. I mean, it could be 2 hours and 38 minutes. Dave would make it to the end. That's the kind of guy he is, and we appreciate that. Go make it happen, Dave.
Come on, Dave. Don't settle. Don't settle.
That's right. To the phrase you said before, leave no stone unturned, Dave. You don't want to look back at the end of this year and say, I could have done that, right? You want to look back and say, I did that.
I did everything I could. And Luis Robert's under contract for 3 more years anyway. Okay. Okay. Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave.
Come on, Dave. He's Fritz and Seltzer.